I'm Anya with Prepare and Nourish. Today I'm putting together a poke style dinner at home. Almost like sushi, but make it easier. And if you're not familiar with poke, it is a dish that comes from Hawaii, traditionally made with raw fish that's cut into pieces and seasoned simply. It started as a very straightforward way to enjoy the fresh fish that Hawaii was very abundant in, and eventually became into this very flexible style dinner that can be easily adapted at home. And as a bonus, you get sushi flavors at home with real food ingredients with only a fraction of the cost. Sounds like a win-win to me. Let's talk about the ingredients. For the poke bowl, I keep things simple. Fresh tuna is the main focus here, so I look for the best quality I can find. I picked up this wild Ahi Tuna from Trader Joe's, and I actually prefer it over Costco's because the tuna steaks are thinner and easier to portion evenly. And I believe the cost per pound is also better at Trader Joe's. When buying tuna, look for steaks that have deep red or pink color without any brown or gray spots. The flesh should look moist but not slimy, and it should feel firm, not soft or mushy. Speaking of good tuna, you'll often see labels like sushi grade or sashimi grade on packaging or in stores, but really all that is a marketing term and not a regulated standard. What matters most is proper handling. In most cases, fishmongers will freeze tuna that's intended to be eaten raw. Freezing is a common practice in the industry and helps reduce the risk of parasites before the fish ever reaches the store. For home kitchens, I still recommend freezing tuna after you bring it home from the store, especially if you're eating it raw like in poke bowls or in sushi bowls. Freezing it for at least 10 days makes it a reliable option, especially if you're buying it from your local grocery store. Once it's fully frozen, then you want to thaw it in the refrigerator and only pull it out when your marinade is ready and when you're actually ready to use it. For the most part, it does need to be cold. Okay, enough about the tuna. Let's talk about the marinade. The marinade is very simple. We'll use coconut aminos or soy sauce or tamari, sesame oil, rice vinegar, and white sesame. The green onions will go into the marinade as well as be the topping. Let's talk about coconut amino. Soy sauce alternative made from fermented coconut sap. It has a similar salty umami flavor that soy sauce would, but I feel like this is much milder. You can use them interchangeably, and I do in recipes all the time. If you don't have coconut aminos, soy sauce or tamari, which is a wheat-free version of soy sauce, works just as well. I happen to have this one, which is a brewed soy sauce. This one is very, very flavorful and robust, but either option works here because, like I said, they can be used interchangeably. My husband prefers the soy sauce. I kind of lean towards the coconut aminos. It really is just a matter of personal preference. I will say that if you are gluten-free, you want to stick to either tamari, which is wheat-free soy sauce, or go with coconut aminos. To bring the bowls together, we'll need some sushi rice and then whatever toppings you enjoy on a bowl of poke. These are kind of like our basic, and so we'll have the green onions, some cucumbers, avocado, and then sometimes I'll even do like a seaweed salad. I don't have that on hand, but you can also do pickled ginger, really anything. We're gonna get started with the rice since that cooks the longest. Your rice actually cooks differently than traditional rice, measuring out about a cup of sushi rice, and then we're gonna rinse it really well. So according to package instructions, you want the rice to soak for about 30 minutes because we're going with that sticky rice. Meanwhile, we're gonna get started on the marinade. I'm gonna chop up these green onions, and since I'm already cutting them, I'm gonna cut all of them through for both the poke bowl. I do like to cut my green onions very finely because I feel like that creates a more delicate texture in both the marinade and as a topping, like on the poke bowl and in the miso soup. We'll use a little bit of that in the marinade, and then the rest we'll just save it. We'll go in the marinade. That maybe like if you were to do this separately, just like 3 sprigs of green onions for the marinade and maybe 2 or 3 as a topping for the poke bowl. Okay, and because I'm doubling the recipe, I'm gonna have to double the marinade. For 1.5 pounds of tuna, you wanna use about half a cup of soy sauce or coconut aminos. And because we're doubling it, we're using 3 pounds of tuna, and so that'll make about a cup of soy sauce. I know that seems like a lot, but this is gonna be most of the marinade. To that, I'm actually going to use this measuring spoon and measure out 2 tablespoons of white sesame seeds. And I'm going to do the the sesame seeds first because I'm going to use the same measuring spoon to then measure out the rice vinegar, which is, again, we'll need 2 tablespoons. If you're doing just one batch or like using 1.5 pounds of tuna, you want to use just 1 tablespoon of the rice vinegar. I'm doubling that, so that's 2 tablespoons. And same thing with the sesame oil. Now, the good thing about this recipe is that I never cook with sesame oil. And with this poke bowl, we're not heating it up. So, and I think I'm only going to have about a tablespoon here. Very flavorful. But so we'll just give that a quick stir. When cooking with fish, keeping it raw, like in this poke bowl, or you're actually cooking with it, it's very important that you remove any extra moisture. So I just take a paper towel and I dab it dry. I try to get it as dry as I can. To cut tuna, use a sharp knife, and you want to cut into 1/2 to 3/4 inch pieces. And you want to make sure you cut against the grain over here. So here's the grain. So, and then if there's any sinew or these fatty streaks, you want to remove them because otherwise they're just very chewy. They're not very pleasant. This piece, I will usually just cut that off because that's not going to be very pleasant to chew through. So once you have pieces about this size, you can just add them directly to the marinade. Now, the bigger the pieces, the longer you want your tuna to marinate, but you also don't want it to go over like 3 hours because the acid in the soy sauce will start breaking it down. And because tuna is a very delicate protein, delicate meat, I try to avoid stirring it with a spoon, and instead I'll just go in with a hand, like with a gloved hand, and just make sure that everything is coated well and that all of the tuna pieces are covered in the marinade. And you can cut them smaller. You do risk of them just kind of really disintegrating in the acid if they're really smaller than 1/2 inch. And keep it in the fridge until it's ready to serve. I'm going to put this in the fridge and then we're going to get started on all of our toppings. Our rice has been soaking for about 30 minutes now, so now would be a good time to actually bring it to a boil, and then we're going to reduce the heat and cover it and cook until it's cooked through. For the poke bowl toppings, I'm just going to do cucumbers, the green onions, and then an avocado. And usually the avocado is either too ripe, not ripe enough. You can also use things like pickled onions, kimchi, really anything that you think that would go well, like on top of a poke bowl. So let's assemble our bowls now. This is our lineup. We have sushi rice, then we have our marinated, followed by whatever toppings you want to add to your poke bowl, and then the spicy mayo. The sushi rice is a sticky rice. And there you have it, a nice homemade tuna poke bowl made with the ingredients you know. If you'd like the full recipes with exact measurements and all of my tips and tricks, you'll find that on my website at prepareandnourish.com. And while you're there, be sure to check out other recipes like ferments and organ meats and quick real food dinners like this one. And if this kind of content resonates with you, I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss future episodes of Real Food Dinners. Eat well, be nourished, and I'll see you soon.